Okay, great day, champions. This is another episode of Game Time with Noble Mike Jamison, and I'm here today to share one of my favorite topics of Game Time, which is how to tell your story, right? How to package your story. So today's session is one where you really need to take notes. We're going to go through it very slowly, so therefore, you may need to pause the video if you're watching the replay, or you have to go back and look at the video if you're watching this live. But this is something that you can utilize in every aspect of your business. And anytime that you are getting ready to start to promote or perhaps get ready to set up a call blitz or a phone team to where you want to do some invitations, it is always important that you package your story. And obviously, we're in an industry where we're looking to attract our tribe. We're looking for people to want to buy what we have, right? And so, in order to do that, people like to buy and not be sold, right? And the way that we do that is we need to literally be authentic. And the more authentic you are, the easier it is for people not to put up a defense mechanism. And so, one of the ways that I found that will allow us to do that is to package your story in an authentic way. And so, what I want to do today is just kind of go through real quickly a few bullet points on helping you do that. So, anytime that you are packaging your story, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, write this down in your notes. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. Okay, so the beginning of you getting ready to package your story in order to tell it to someone, all right, it's not going to take you but 2 to 3 minutes. This is the whole story is 2 to 3 minutes max. Okay, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, but there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. So let's talk about the beginning. When you're getting ready to make some phone calls, when you're getting ready to start your invitation process to get people to an event, such as a meeting, a Zoom, or some sort, then what you want to do is that you want to, first of all, be yourself. You don't want to call a person that you built some rapport with or you're starting to develop a relationship with and start to sound like a salesperson, like a call center or like a robot. So the first bullet point in the first step, which is the beginning step, right? So this is like 1A, is to be yourself. So if you would normally call your cousin and say, "Hey, what's up, cuz?" Then when you call your cousin to do this invite, you're still gonna say, "What's up, cuz?" You don't all of a sudden want to call them by their first name, and that's not normally how you greet them, right? And so you want to be, or you want to be normal. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. You want to be normal in this process of leading up to getting ready to do your invitation. So this is the beginning step. So first thing you do is you're gonna, let's assume that this is a phone call that you're making to ultimately do the invitation. Okay, so you make the phone call and you do your normal greeting. You're normal. Hey, what's up, cuz? What's going on? Or whatever you would normally do. If you're a girl and you say, "Hey, girl, how you doing?" You know what I mean? Whatever is normal. Okay, it's normal. That's important. That's why I'm re-emphasizing it. You have to be normal. Okay. Now, 1B, the second part to the beginning is that you ask a very important question, which is, do you have 2 minutes? Okay. You ask them, do you have 2 minutes? So the first thing you do is you make the call, you do your normal greeting that you would normally do. This is 1A. And then 1B is that you ask this very important question, which is, do you have 2 minutes? Now, the reason you want to do this in the beginning is because you don't want to start going through what I'm gonna share with you right now, and they're right in the middle of cooking dinner, right? Or they're right in the middle of helping their kids with homework, or they are right in the middle of doing something. So you want to get permission from them that they have 2 minutes. Okay, so this is 1B. Hey, do you have 2 minutes? All right. Typically they're gonna say yes. And if they don't have 2 minutes, you say, hey, look, okay, great. What is the best time to give you a call back tonight? Okay, or today. So you get a follow-up time. All right. But if they do got 2 minutes, which will be most of the time, people will give you 2 minutes of their time. All right. So they say, yes, yeah, man. What's up, bro? I got 2 minutes. What's going on? So at that point, you're finished with the beginning. So 1A, be normal with your greeting. 1B, ask for permission that they have 2 minutes. Okay. Now we're in the middle section of your story. Remember, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. So now we're in the middle. All right. In the middle is where you're going to deliver your meat and potatoes. What are your meat and potatoes? All right. Prior to making this phone call, you would have done two things. Number one, you would have written down the top 2 or 3 reasons you are excited about the business that you're doing. Okay. You would have written down 2 or 3 reasons you are excited about the business that you're doing. All right. Not generic excitement. I'm talking about authentic excitement. For example, you may say things like, um, hey, John, no, you may have written down this. You may say, hey, what? I wanted to spend more times with my kids. That's authentic, right? This is one of the reasons you may have been doing something, right, with your business is because you want to spend more times with your kids. Or you may have written down something like you want to start saving up a fund to send your kids to college. All right, those are the 2 things that you wrote down. The reason why you're doing your business. All right, before the conversation, before the phone call. Number one, I want to spend more time with my kids. Number two, I want to set up a college. I want to start saving for college tuition for my kids. Those are the 2 things that are important to you in this example. Okay, so now we're in the middle. We're in the middle. So now that you've identified those 2 things, when you get to the middle part of the conversation during the invitation, those are the things you share. You don't go with some, random conversation, some random bullet points. No, you go with the things that resonate with you. All right. So when you say, hey, look, how you doing? Normal intro. 1B is, do you have 2 minutes? Okay. Now we're in the middle. Okay. So this is 2A. 2A. The first thing you're going to say is like, listen, you know that I've always wanted to spend more time with my kids. And I finally found a way that I can do that. And in addition to that, I've also found a way that I can finally start setting up and setting aside some additional money for my kids' college tuition because that's something I've always wanted to do for them is give them that gift of paying for their college education. Boom. That's in the middle, right? You see that? You took those top 2 or 3 things that you wrote down that were real, that were authentic, and you delivered it in the middle part of your invitation. And the person that's listening to that, they know you're not gassing them up because they know your kids are real. They know you probably, you work a lot of hours and you want to spend time with them. You know what I'm saying? So they know that this is a real, you're being very transparent at this moment, right? Say, listen, John, man, I've always wanted to spend more time with my kids. I've been working some crazy hours and I finally found a way that I could do that. In addition to that, I found a way that I could actually start setting aside some money for my kids' college education, which is something that I always wanted to give to them as my way of saying thanks for being great kids, right? So you deliver that in the middle. It's amazing. Okay, now you get to the end. All right, remember there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. All right, so now the end is, hey John, listen, I have a very special presentation set up on tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and it will mean the world to me for you to jump on just a few minutes for you to see what has me excited. Y'all see that? So the last step, the end, is the invitation. You saying, "Hey, John, I have a," and you give them the destination. Now, in this particular case, it was a 7 o'clock presentation on tomorrow. That could be a Zoom, that could be a face-to-face meeting, that could be a hotel meeting, whatever the case may be. The end, right? 3A is the invite to where you want them to be. Okay. Hey, John, there's a very special presentation coming up this coming weekend. I have a business mentor of mine who's coming into town, who's carved out time away from his or her family to really sit down and talk to the people that are most important to me. It would mean the world to me for you to be a part of that conversation. Y'all see that? This is amazing. So all you're doing is tying all these things together: beginning, middle, and end. What are you doing in the beginning? Let's recap really quickly. Number one, A, is you're doing a normal greeting. You're gonna talk to this person like you normally would. Number two, you're gonna ask for permission. You're gonna say, "Hey, listen, do you have 2 minutes?" Because again, you don't want to start this process and they be in the middle of doing something. So act normal. Ask, do they have 2 minutes? Give your top two or three things on why you're doing what you're doing. Hey, I've always wanted to retire my spouse. I've always wanted to spend time with my kids. I've always wanted to quit my second job. I've always wanted to set money aside for my children. I've always wanted to make enough money to help cover my parents' medical prescriptions, right? So whatever it is, make it authentic, be real and transparent. And that's what you deliver in that middle section. Say, "John, listen, man, I've always wanted to spend more time with my kids, and I wanted to have a way that I could set money aside for their college tuition as a way of saying this is a gift from me to them." Okay. And I've set up a very special presentation tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Here's the key. It would mean the world to me, John, for you to be a part of that conversation. Notice I didn't say a part of the presentation. Notice I didn't say a part of the business overview. No, John, it would mean the world to me that it for you to be a part of that conversation. So John knows, I mean, when you say it would mean the world to me, that person knows you're sincere and you're genuine. You follow? And so these things are very simple. You can put together this story. It's your story. It's authentic, and trust me, the number of participants that will join your meeting, your Zoom and or your meeting will skyrocket if you use this one little nugget on packaging your story with authenticity. Right? No more phony stuff. You want to be authentic and transparent. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I would like to say that it would go that smooth 100% of the time that John would say, "Yes, man, send me the information." Okay. But most of the time, they're going to ask, "What is it?" And I want to arm you with a couple of things as a response. Okay. When they ask, "What is it?" and some are going to ask, "What is it?" What you're going to say is, "John, unfortunately, I don't have enough time to share with you everything right now. However, if you can attend that special presentation, you'll get a chance to see everything for yourself." Right? And that's why you asked them in the beginning, "Do you have 2 minutes?" Because you don't have a lot of time neither. So therefore, if they start asking you questions, you can lean on what you said in the very beginning about their time. Right? So when they say, "Hey, what is it, John? I don't have very much time right now to share with you everything." Right? But if you can make it a point to participate in that conversation tomorrow, you'll get a chance to see everything. You see that? And so you're going back. That's why we said it in the beginning. We were setting them up for what will eventually happen at some point in time, and they're going to ask questions, and we don't have time to ask questions. If you start answering questions, that 2 minute conversation is going to go to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you'll never get through your list. You should be able to call a list of 50 people. Half of them you will never reach. 25 you'll never reach. Okay, the other, let's say 12 to 15, you'll reach, but they're busy. and then the other 12 to 15 or 10 to 15 or whatever number is going to be, you'll have this conversation with. So if you're making 50 dials, you'll probably have 10 to 15 conversations. Half you'll never reach. The other half will be busy, right? They'll be busy. Okay. So you have 10 to 15 conversations. So if you can't spend 15 minutes with each person. So if you know you're going to talk to 10 people, okay, out of the 50, for example, you can't spend 15 minutes for each person because now you're answering questions because that's 15 times 10. That's 150 minutes. You're on the phone for almost 3 hours. You don't have that kind of time. You need to get to these 50 dials to get to the 10 people, and you need to take what, 10 times 3? Talk about what, 30 minutes. 30 minutes, boom, boom, boom. Right? 45 minutes max. You follow? And I'm talking about enough time to dial the number in your phone. So be efficient with what you do. Don't answer questions. Reflect and deflect the way that I just taught you, and watch your participation go through the roof just by the simple fact that you're packaging your story the right way using authentic bullet points structured the way that I've just taught you. So listen, it works. It's simple and you can do it. Hey, listen, this has been another episode of Game Time with Noble Mike Jamison. Take care. Take charge.